Yo guys, what's up? It's Gaz. Welcome to the Warframe video. So we're going to do another weapon revisit on this channel, and I'm going to be doing the Exergis today, which is a relatively old weapon at this point. My original video on this is from 2018. Yeah, I've been making videos that long, I didn't even realize it. So yeah, it's going to be pretty fun to go over this thing again. So, general gist of the Exergis, it's a one-shot shotgun, which is going to have impact, puncture, slash, and radiation. Very highly status focused, and we pretty much got no crit to speak of here. But if you do some outside crit buffing sources like Arcane Avenger and Harrow and things of that nature, like even the Adarzik of that, you're going to be getting some additional multipliers, which is really good because this thing has 1620 damage per projectile, which is pretty ridiculous. So if you put enough mods in this thing, even with a Riven, you can get over 100,000 damage per projectile, which is pretty stupid. So that's going to be the general gist of it. You can, with all that status chance, you can actually get a lot of procs in one shot, and with the impact, puncture, slash, and radiation, you can actually mod it to have 6 different procs from one shot. So here we go. Let's go over and hop and summon in some heavy gunners here. By the way, this is totally the way this weapon always works. We're about to show you right here. So, you know, just it's how it is. So there you go, and oh, never mind. I kept my ribbon on here in accident. Okay, let's take off the ribbon. That is only possible with the ribbon, guys. Totally intended gameplay right there. So let's go ahead and take off that ribbon, and let's put on a normal mod. Already got that one on there. All right, now there we go. That's much more like it. We lose about 40,000 damage, but that'll be okay. So let's resummon those heavy gunners, and we are running a corrosive and blast build. The reason we're running blast is because this thing really needs a reload mod, and I like running blaze. So when it comes down to it, there aren't very many good reload mods for shotguns. We've got tactical pump, seeking fury, and chilling reload basically. And tactical pump only gives you 30%, and it's a 7-point drain mod. But then if you look at chilling reload, it's a 60% cold damage and 40% reload. So it's overall just a better mod. So I said screw it. Like, I'm going to take the corrosive and blast, even though I'd rather run corrosive and heat, just because it feels foolish not to take the additional 60% cold, because it's giving you so much more damage. So if you didn't want to run another 90% elemental in the slot that we have the Riven in, you can actually run Vigilante Armaments, which is going to give you more multi-shot, and the multi-shot scales pretty well on this thing. We have a multi-shot Riven. We're getting about 10 pellets per shot. So let's just go ahead and show the corrosive and blast build on these gunners, and then we'll do some crit buffing stuff in a bit here, because like I said, if you can get this thing to crit to do some crit buffs, it's going to be really nasty. There is 2-shot on that gunner. Now again, we do have Avenger proc here, so it's not exactly the most optimal way to show it, but look at all those procs in her too. She's got 10 corrosive procs, pretty much like right off the bat. She got 7 from one shot there. Really good stuff. So yeah, some things that changed with shotguns since I did my video on them in 2018. Well, I guess a lot of stuff has changed with shotguns since 2018, but there has been the status changes. So now you're getting status per projectile, and this thing has extremely high status per projectile, high enough that you can actually put 4 dual stat elementals on here, and it will give you over 100% stash chance, which is ridiculous. Like, the Tiger's Prime does not do that anymore. Basically, no shotgun does that anymore. And another thing to keep in mind as well is that the 4 times IPS multiplier has been removed. So that means that you're not going to be proccing slash anywhere near as often as you used to. So even with 122% stash chance per projectile, it's not going to be... You basically never see slash. That's why I really don't like the Kuva Dragoon anymore, which I have not done a video on yet, I know. That you don't see slash in the Kuva Dragoon pretty much at all. It's always like corrosive procs or heat procs or whatever you've modded for elemental wise. And this thing is in the same boat. We have 800 slash damage per projectile and 6,000 plus corrosive damage. So another thing you could actually do in here is make a double shot build with a magazine size mod. And that's going to make it where you have 2 in the magazine. You're not reloading after every shot, but I personally don't mind reloading after every shot. So we'll quickly show it here with some fire rate and a reload buff from Harrow. So you can see, as you see right here, pretty nice. It actually feels pretty satisfying to have 2 shots in the magazine for this thing. And yeah, pretty fun stuff there. So it's going to be up to you. Do you want to have faster reload and more damage overall, or do you want to have maybe a little bit less damage, but 2 in the magazine just for convenience sake. It'll let you blast through lich missions a lot easier. Now we're going to use the riven right here. It's got 102,000 damage total. I think I said per projectile earlier. It's actually total is going to be 100,000. So really, really good stuff there. As far as a god roll riven on this thing, I'm going to recommend damage and multi-shot. As you saw, we have like basically no crit chance on this thing. And as far as I'm concerned, the crit chance is not high enough to even get a crit roll on this weapon. I mean, I feel like you might be able to make it work with a good like a crit chance, crit damage riven, but then again, like you definitely get more bang for your buck from damage and multi-shot. And just do things like Avenger and Harrow and Adarza Kavat for getting those crit multipliers. Because to get the crit multipliers in this thing with 102,000 base damage, you multiply that by like whatever, like 4 or 5. That's a ton of damage per shot, so that's how I look at it. Let's hop into Akuva Flood here, see how that goes. And I also want to let you guys know something about, I'm going to be doing an update on the channel here. I'm not going to be doing daily uploads anymore. I decided that I want to focus more on streaming, and I've been doing daily uploads for an entire month, and I wanted to see how that went, and I think it went well, but I'm gonna change to doing 3 to 4 videos per week. My upload schedule is going to be changed to Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And the Sundays I don't really count as an actual video, because since we're getting Nightwave back, every Sunday will be a Nightwave tips and tricks video, which I guess is technically considered a video, but you know, I don't consider that an actual, like, it's not going to be like a new build video or a weapon revisit or a rant video if we have to do any of those. Although I think DE has gotten their let's be nice here. They've realized that people were not happy for a while, so they're going to actually they made the test build, so us PC players aren't going to be testing the bugs out live. The test cluster boys can do that for us, and we can just you know, not have to deal with that. Hopefully that means the console will never get a single bug ever again, which would be awesome. But yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it, is that the test cluster, like, yeah, it might bring some spoilers. I'm just gonna have to ignore it, and you know, it will bring a much less bug-ridden mess at launch, which I'm hoping is the thing. So here we go, right here, getting some crit buffs from Harrow and from Avenger, getting about was it 1900 on that guy. That was some armor though. That was an orange crit for 35,000. Now, I don't think it's displaying all the numbers at once. We're obviously like, counting them with damage here, but it's only showing like 10,000 damage. Like, there's 55k right there. I feel like we did more damage than that with those crits, but, you know, whatever. So yeah, the upload schedule is changing, guys. It's going to be like still pretty frequent upload, honestly, but I will try to be doing some more streaming here, so I want to do at least like 2 to 3 streams a week, if possible. And yeah, that's basically the plan. As far as the Exergis, I know this is an Exergis video, right? I do think it is actually better nowadays than back in the day, because the enemy's armor has been reduced, so enemy armor and health has been reduced, so indirectly making this thing with extremely high base damage a lot more valuable. Another thing that's pretty nice, I was watching my video from 2018. I paid 1,200 plat for a crappy ribbon for this thing in 2018. And the ribbons for it nowadays are like dirt cheap, like under 100. So that's also a really nice thing about the Exergis in 2020. And then additionally, since they did the status changes on shotguns per pellet, this thing still has extremely high stash chance. I think it's got like some of the highest stash chance of any shotgun in the game, if not the highest. Very high stash chance. It doesn't say it's the highest, but it does have the highest base damage of any non-Arcwing weapon in the game. So there's also that. Pretty good stuff there. It's also got innate radiation damage, making it pretty good against bombards and robotic enemies. And it does have some innate punch through, so I didn't mention that earlier. It has some innate punch through. So you can actually shoot through like 2 enemies at a time with this thing. So yeah, overall I'd say it's worth trying. If you already had this in your inventory and like you just didn't sell it or delete it, and you've been wondering like maybe I should try this thing out, I'd say yeah, it's worth trying out again. Maybe not the most powerful weapon in the game, but pretty satisfying to use, and for missions like lich missions, where you're fighting like relatively high level Grineer, like level 50 to 80, it should one-shot pretty much all of them. And keep in mind, you're going to have to reload after every shot, which is annoying. That's definitely annoying. But if you do the 2-shot build I showed you with ammo stock, that will make it where you can make use of some fire rate. And then there's things like no, I'm not going to even try to go for Arcane Awakening. It's basically like, do you like the feeling of having to reload after every shot? I feel it's pretty satisfying to fire this thing so many times. It also has pretty nice sound effects. It feels like it's very impactful to fire this. So yeah, I'd say it's overall pretty fun, and you can get corrosive radiation and heat. If you don't run Chilling Reload, you can just turn that blast damage into heat damage. Just run Blaze, and then I guess you could run what's that one called? Tactical Reload, I think it's called, or Tactical Pump, something like that. The reload mod doesn't give you any damage, and makes it you have a little bit less reload. That will give you will get corrosive radiation and heat on that build. And by the way, the viral build works really well too. You can get really high stacks of viral in one shot, and you can actually mod this thing for viral radiation and heat as well. So pretty fun stuff there. So yeah, I think we're just gonna cut it off right here, guys. I hope that you found this video helpful. Like I said, changing the upload schedule, and this thing is fun overall, I'd say. Also, make sure you check out the Twitch channel. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get more into doing some streaming regularly here. So twitch.tv/gaz_ttv. Plans are we'll do a Requiem survival guide on Wednesday, because I did a long Requiem survival last night. We're talking like 3-ish hours. And I have some more footage from another like 2-hour run I did the other day. And yeah, I know a lot of people want to do that because like it's honestly the best mission in the game, like straight up. It's a endurance, or it's a survival mission that rewards endurance, because the longer you're in the Kuva Survival Requiem, the more Kuva you get per tower. Additionally, you can open up these Requiem relics that will give you Requiem mods you can sell for platinum. Like, for example, I did a comparison of how much loot I got in the run last night. Made about 250 platinum worth of mods, and got about 90,000 Kuva in like 3 hours. Also had a good amount of fun. I like testing weapons against really high-level enemies like that. I really do hope that we get a difficulty slider here someday, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. They'll probably be like, it's abusable, but that's why we're not going to add it, or something dumb like that. But I would really appreciate, like, maybe even make it scale with MR. Like, the higher MR you are, the higher level enemies you can spawn right off the bat in actual missions. Like, if you're MR 29 or 28, you can spawn like level like 1,500. If you're MR 20, you can spawn level like 1,000. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Something like that would be really nice, and it would make MR actually somewhat matter beyond MR. I think 16 is the highest level that rivens go to. So that's just some things I've been thinking about. Maybe to reward people that grind like the hours and hours and hours it takes to hit MR 28 and 29. So, you know, we'll have that video most likely on Wednesday. So I will see you guys for the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have fun with the Exergis if you end up trying it out. The ribbons are dirt cheap now, that's for sure. So you can have some fun with it for sure. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.